18-10. 18-10. The Buffalo Bills walk into MetLife Stadium and beat down the New York Jets 18-10. Okay, if you were not 100% sold on the idea of Joe Douglas drafting Trevor Lawrence with the first overall pick, because let me assure you the Jets are the worst team in the league, then I don't know what more needs to happen. Okay, this offense under Adam Gase, Dowell Loggins, and Sam Darnold is absolutely horrifying. I don't know how anybody in their right mind can look at this offensive production that has been rolled out week after week after week, year after year now. We are now a year and a half into the Adam Gase era, and it's so laughably bad. So laughably bad. Darnold is horrendous. I mean, I know he completed the 3rd and 20 out route to Berrios, and yeah, that was a great play, but I mean, we're in year 3 now. Year 3, and we're looking at one play in the entire game against the struggling Buffalo Bills defense. I mean, 12 of 23, 120 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, one of which was the pivoting point on where the Buffalo Bills flipped the switch, and momentum was just completely changed, completely given to the other team, and Buffalo pretty much handled the game from that point on. Thrown it a lofted pass in a triple coverage, arguably quadruple coverage, if you want to count that safety. But here are the drives. Okay, in the second half, 4 plays, 12 yards. First drive. Next drive, 3 plays, 0 yards. Next one, 3 plays, -6 yards. Next one, 3 plays, 3 yards, and the last one, a game-losing interception. Okay, after 0 offensive production in the second half, and only 10 points in the first half, but after zero, nothing. There was absolutely nothing to hang your hat on in the second half on offense. The Jets still had an opportunity to go down the field and possibly tie it up if they converted on a 2-point conversion, of course. Now, I'll say this. Hats off to Buffalo. They're a great football team. They were beating themselves pretty much the entirety of the first half. It almost looked like Buffalo and Sean McDermott were like, going into the game, they're like, you know what, we're going to win this game easily. Let's just, for the first half, let's just try, some brand new stuff. Let's try to, throw some stuff on the wall, see what sticks, and, kind of go from there. I mean, they're throwing it every single play. The first quarter, I felt like the Bills didn't even have a handoff outside of Josh Allen scrambling. I mean, they were throwing it every down. They missed a field goal. Greg Williams' defense got a turnover, a strip sack in the red zone, taking points off the board. The Buffalo Bills didn't score a touchdown. Greg Williams did his job. People are hating on Greg Williams. Oh, he needs to do better. The defense sucks. The defense sucks. Well, how can the defense play well when these are the drives? 4 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays, interception. How can a defense play well? Keep in mind, the team traded Jamal Adams. Keep in mind, C.J. Mosley opted out. This team is a mess. And that's obvious. It's clear. You guys know that. Changes need to be made. Changes need to be made at the head coach position, all the coordinators. I love Greg Williams. But unfortunately, I think it's, getting to the end of his time as a member of the New York Jets as well. And a change needs to be made at the quarterback position by next year. I mean, I completely understand the argument that Jamison Crowder isn't healthy and he wasn't playing, and Brashad Perryman had to leave the game. But when you continuously have struggles like this, where it's not even like we're average or like even like top 20 or top 25. It's like dead last. Like there's no chance of moving the football. And that's what's irritating. Now, I will say this in the first half, Dowell Loggins got the play calling duties and he was switching things up. We saw some play action. We saw Darnold under center. We saw them feeding LaMichael Pirine for once, a middle round draft pick. And we up and release Le'Veon Bell. And we finally, week 7, decide to start, tinkering with the idea of, hey, you know what? Maybe LaMichael Pirine can play football. He did well today. I thought he did well. I thought Denzel Mims did well. I thought Mekhi Becton did well. Isn't it ironic that our 3 rookies, the 3 picks that Joe Douglas made, are the only players seemingly doing well? Okay, on the offensive side, of course. Gosh, I mean, yes, you can look at this scoreboard and say, hey, dude, the Buffalo Bills are heading to the playoffs. They're probably going to win the AFC East. The Jets lost by one possession. You can say that. But when you look at how the game was actually played, the Jets shot themselves in the foot over and over and over and over. It was nauseating. It was tedious. And quite frankly, it's just so bad. It's a nightmare. The Jets' offensive play is a complete nightmare. And the thing is, the thing that's sticking in my head from from just this entire game is that it was not like the Buffalo Bills were playing good football. The Bills were, I mean, if you were to tell me going into this game, the Bills wouldn't score a touchdown. They would have a turnover in the red zone on a strip sack, taking points off the board essentially, and 2 missed field goals. I would say, okay, Bills aren't going to score a touchdown. I mean, they're going to miss a couple field goals and they're going to have a turnover in the red zone. How many points can this Bills team, put up if that was the case? Well, they put up 18 because their kicker is an absolute beast, all right? Greg Williams, again, he did his job. I know we lost the game. 18 points, it's a decent amount of points, but in this day and age, against that offense, when the defense is on the field, the entirety of the second half, and you only give up 18 points, no, the loss is not on Greg Williams. It's not on the defense. They didn't give up any touchdowns, all right? It's on the offense. It's on Loggins. It's on Gase. And it's on Darnold. Like, I get it. He was a 3rd overall pick, but again, we're 3 years into this thing, and we are the worst offense in the league. He looked better his rookie year under Jeremy Bates and Todd Bowles. And you can say, hey, you know what? It's because of Gase. He ruined him, and Joe Douglas and Mike McCagnon never gave him the appropriate weapons. I mean, I'm used to seeing this. Same exact thing happened with Geno Smith. Guy wasn't ready to play, forced to start early. Rex Ryan's decision to put Mark Sanchez back out there in a preseason game, gets hurt, of course, in a late meaningless preseason game. Geno Smith, a raw prospect with a lot of upside, a lot of physical tools, good enough arm. He can move around. He's a mobile guy that can run downfield, sprint downfield at a really, really nice rate. He was extremely accurate at the college level. This guy gets thrown in there with nothing, with Jeff Cumberland, with Santonio Holmes at the end of his career, with Stephen Hill. But Geno got no excuses. It was just like, you're horrible, you suck, get out. They just ran him out of New York. And I'm not saying, oh, we need Geno Smith back or anything like that. And I'm not saying Geno Smith and Sam Darnold are the same player. But I'm just tired of seeing the Jets front office not supplying these young rookie quarterbacks, these young 24 and under quarterbacks, 25 and under quarterbacks with nothing. They're not putting them in an opportunity to succeed. Look at Justin Herbert. He looks better than Sam Darnold. Look at Joe Burrow. He looks better than Sam Darnold. These guys have played in a couple of games, and they're already more NFL ready than Darnold. They're already more NFL ready than Geno Smith was. Why? Because these organizations actually have a vision. They know what they want to do. They understand, hey, if we're picking a quarterback at the top of the draft, let alone trading up for a guy. I mean, look at Josh Allen to a certain degree as well. I mean, the Buffalo Bills built the entire offensive system around what Allen can do. Look at Harbaugh with Lamar Jackson. I know Lamar Jackson wasn't like a top 5 pick, but, again, first round pick, a guy with a lot of upside. He took the offense, looked at what Lamar Jackson can do, not what he, sucks at and, is just going to force him to do whatever. Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco aren't the same player. John Harbaugh, extremely smart offensive mind. What does he do? He promotes Greg Roman, a guy who works really well with dual threats. And they customize and they just completely tear down the Ravens system. And they built it up with reads and just setting Lamar Jackson up for success. The Jets have not done that. They kind of did it with Mark Sanchez, just surrounding him with a bunch of veteran players and whatnot. But it was almost like, he did so well so early with the team success, not so much like the individual statistics and whatnot. But I mean, bottom line is this: the Jets have done an absolutely horrible job. It's embarrassing of developing quarterbacks, getting the right coach in the building, getting the right personnel in the building, getting the right offensive system in the building. It's just squandered opportunities, missed opportunities. And I credit Buffalo. I mean, I really, really credit Buffalo. This is a team that they were rebuilding. They were at the same level as the New York Jets at the same time. Buffalo is now the favorite to win the AFC East, while the New York Jets are the favorite to finish with the first overall pick. That's what happens when you put Band-Aids over a ship, as opposed to trying to fix the ship. Holes on the ship, I should say. Buffalo didn't play great, right? But they played well enough to win. Again, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board because this performance that Buffalo had out there, that can't beat Kansas City. That can't beat Tennessee. That can't beat Baltimore. That can't beat Pittsburgh. Can't do it. But it could beat New York. Why? Because they score 10 points, turn the ball over, no threats through the air, no threats on the ground, and they have, let's see here, 12, what's 12 minus 6 plus 3? 9 passing yards in the second half. I don't even know if that's how everything kind of played out. My math is serving me correctly here, but here we are. But good thing we have the Chiefs next week, so we'll see how we do against them. Super Bowl champions. Let's see how Le'Veon Bell does. A really talented running back. And it's weird too, because it's like, I will say this before I end the video, and I'm rambling here, kind of just another rant. I hate doing these rants, but it's just being honest about the team. The Jets decide to really start running the ball when Bell leaves. Like they give the play calling duties to Dowell Loggins. It's obvious he wants to set Darnold up off the play action, really get him in third and shorts and whatnot. Doesn't really want to be in those 3rd and 11 situations where Darnold's having to really push the ball downfield. It's feeding the running backs. It's feeding Frank Gore early. Frank Gore was looking pretty good. And yeah, Buffalo can't really stop the run, but Frank Gore looked good. P-Ron looked good. What could have happened if we gave Loggins the play calling duties week 2, week 3, and we kept Le'Veon Bell? Because Bell's better than both of those guys. All right, that's just a fact. So Chiefs next week, I'll leave it there. Changes need to be made. Coaching, quarterback, we all know this. 0-7. Midway through the year, 0-7. I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for sticking with this channel. The Jets are a winless football team, yet you guys still tune into, Jets videos. How great is that? You guys are obviously the definition of diehard fans, the best fans in football, no doubt. I mean, you have some teams out there, they're 0-3, 0-4, 1-5, and everybody's bailing on the season. Nobody's watching the games. Nobody can care less. Yet the Jets are an absolute train wreck, winless on the year, going nowhere, and yet you guys are tuning in. Real fans. So I commend everybody. I thank everybody. It means the world to me. And go Jets.